Hey everyone, welcome back to another video as we're about to hit level 59 here. Today's video is going to be a top 5, and it's going to be a top 5 about a requested character. So today's video is going to be a top 5 on Roland, the Grandmaster Paladin. So if you want to see another character in a future vid, please comment below. And thank you very much for watching, and here we go. Alright guys, so number 1 is Roland's lore, and the main thing to know about his lore is that he is Van's teacher. So just going into the lore of Roland, so Roland was the very first Grandmaster of the Templars. Now, if you watched my video on Vivian, you'll know that Vivian's father, Arthur, was also a Grandmaster of the Templars, but Roland is the first Grandmaster of the Templars. So Vivian's father is pretty much the next generation after Roland. And so one of the biggest things about Roland's lore is that his friend's grandson is Van. And so when his friend dies, because, you know, they're in the middle of a war, and so when his friend gets killed by, I would assume, the demonic army, Roland comes to his grandson's house and he teaches Van how to fight. And so if you look over at Van's character, Van currently doesn't really have any lore, but I would assume it's going to relate to Roland when it comes out. But that's just a cool thing to know, that Roland was the first Grandmaster of the Templars, and he's also Van's teacher. Alright guys, so number 2 for Roland is some unique characteristics about his skills, and the main skills that you want to focus on are his second skill, which is Shield of Victory, and his third skill, which is Defensive Stance. And so the reason why these two skills are very important is because Defensive Stance increases his def by 10% for every layer that he has, and in order to gain layers, you have to increase his attack. And then for Shield of Victory, it grants him 20% damage resistance for 12 seconds, and it also gives him immunity to status effects damage-wise for 3 seconds. So the reason why these two skills are mainly important is because if you look at Roland's passive skill, which is called Elderly Defender, you'll notice that Roland's attack strength, no matter what you have on him, will always be reduced by 35%, but his defense strength will always be increased by 35% in combat. So that's huge for two reasons. One, it kind of nerfs the first skill, which is Radiant Blade. And what Radiant Blade does is that he'll inflict stun on his enemy whenever his attack is buffed. But since his attack is going to be low, the first skill isn't going to really do that much damage. Instead, it's going to stun the enemies, and that's when you use your DPS to severely damage the enemies. A couple other things that's really cool is that with the first skill, his attack, he recovers HP based on his attack strength, but he's not going to recover that much HP because his attack strength is going to be low. But going back to these two main skills, Shield of Victory is really huge because Shield of Victory, what it does is that it grants you a lot of damage reduction, and it also dispels the buffs that cause damage to you for different status effects. So a great example of this using this skill is when you're going against an injury team like Horus and Ophelia, he can nerf injury so that he doesn't take any damage from that status effect. And he'll save a lot of HP by not taking any damage from those type of characters. And then Defensive Stance is also really important because he can increase his def by almost 100% because defense effect can stack up to 10 times. So therefore he'll take half less damage than normal because his def can be up to 200% in battle. And that's a pretty big gain. But yeah, so make sure when you're leveling up Roland, do the second and third skill first, and then maybe put 1 or 2 skill points, depending on what star he is, in the first skill, just so that you can get that stun. Number 3 is very important for Roland's character, and that is his partner, Luciphinal. Now, the reason why Luciphinal is very important is because she has 2 main skills that increase Roland's attack, and those 2 skills are her passive, which is Angel's Warsong, and her second skill, which is Conviction. So what Power of Conviction does is that it increases her allies' attack strength by 60% for 4 seconds. So In order to activate Roland's skills, you need to have his attack buffed, and this second skill can increase his attack up to 60% of whatever Luciphinol's attack strength is. So make sure when you get Luciphinol, please put a bunch of attack runes on her so that she has very high attack and Roland's attack will be increased by 60%. Another thing too is Angel's Warsong. Whenever Luciphinol does damage, she will increase the attack strength of all her allies by 5% for 5 seconds, and this can be stacked to 5 times, meaning their attack will be buffed by 25% up to 25% for 5 seconds. So as you know, in order to activate Roland's skills, you need to have his attacks buffed, and Luciphinol is the best character to do so. Number 4 is something pretty unique to Roland, and that is the fact that he is a purple character, which is also known as a battle end phase character. So the reason why battle end phase characters are important is because there isn't many of them. And so what a battle phase end character is that they are a slow character that will achieve their maximum power towards the end of battles. Now, most units you get in this game will either be green characters who achieve their maximum power at the start of battles, or they will be blue characters who achieve their maximum power in the middle. But Roland achieves his maximum power in the end, and the reason why he achieves his maximum power in the end is because you might not get that attack buff that you need to activate his skills until the middle or the end of battles. And so Roland, he might take a bunch of damage in the beginning and maybe even some in the middle, but towards the end he'll be pretty hard to defeat, and hopefully your backline doesn't get wiped out, so you'll be able to tough it up and beat the other team. Number 5 is something I like ending these series with, and that is Roland's voice actor, who is Norio Wakamoto. Now, Norio Wakamoto has been a long-time voice actor. A couple roles that he's known for playing Cell in Dragon Ball Z, he's known for being the announcer in Hayate the Combat Butler, and he's also played several fighting game characters, including Bison in Street Fighter. And so, just a couple things about Roland is that his voice is pretty cool. And he's kind of like that old man character that you can kind of look up to. But in one of his lines that he talks about, I wish I was with that kid's father. And I believe that this is alluding to Van, which means that Van's father also probably met a similar fate to Van's grandfather. And currently we do not know what Van's lore is, but in a future update we will, and I have a good feeling that just like Roland and Vivian's, it's probably going to be a sad one. And so with that is my top 5 for Roland. So if you liked this video, please leave a like, and if you're interested in my videos, then please subscribe, as I will keep on making videos for as long as I can. If you want to see another character in a top 5 series, please comment below. I read all my comments. I also give replies on most of them. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Goodbye.